Hey everybody, welcome to Average Guy Opinions. I'm your average guy, John Corelli. This is episode 187. I'm going to talk about my cat a little bit. Um, I may have talked about him before. Honestly, I'm finding that average guys, though we have a lot of opinions, eventually you start overlapping. I'm halfway through the year, and like I said, my goal is to do 365 of these by the end of the year, but who knows? Sometimes I delve into the news. Sometimes I talk about my life and what's going on, especially with my father lately. Sometimes I talk about just political stuff, or the last two episodes were about capitalism, and this one's just gonna be about my cat because he just had a birthday. Okay, I don't know his official birthday. I do not have a birth certificate for this little guy, as most cats do not. He was born feral. I received him when he was approximately 6 months old, right around New Year's of 2016, going into 17. So he's five. He just turned 5 years old. I celebrated his birthday on July 4th, 2016. So he just turned five, and he's a great cat. Like I said, he was born feral. My mom said, "Hey, you want to take a shot at him?" Because I hadn't had a cat for a long time. I was like, "Yeah, let's see how he does." And there were some rough days. Let me tell you, when I first took charge of this animal. Um, it's difficult. It's not easy. Think about it. The reason they're feral, and by the way, for those of you who don't know what the feral is, most of you do, I'm sure, but especially if you listen to this channel, I've talked about feral cats quite a bit, and especially in terms of what my mother does with these animals. Um, Feral is a domesticated animal that has gone back to its wild roots, essentially. It doesn't do, they don't do well with humans, and so there are feral cat colonies, which came about from stray cats, and they find a place, and then the next thing you know, they're under a shed somewhere, or maybe in a mobile home park, and they're multiplying like crazy, and they can survive because they're not house pets anymore. They are, and let's be honest, cats, when they are house pets, do really fine anyway. They're the best land predator we have on this planet. They're amazing, and so they can survive anyway. But they get really good at it, and then they are afraid of humans. Well, maybe as they should be anyway as well. But the ferals are really afraid of humans. So my mom got this guy as a kitten, and got him young enough that she thought she could rehab him into being or adoptable. And she knew that I'm pretty good with animals, so she's like, take a shot at him. So I did, and the first month or two were not necessarily easy. So he didn't. We got him into the cage, the carrier. I got him home. He, not happy, just yowling in that carrier, as most cats do. They're not good at being trapped. Brought him home. He ran around, and finally got under the couch and spent a lot of time under the couch because he needed that comfort and that kind of just that tight place. Sometimes you need a blanket to keep you tight, and you need to be in a dark place. So he needed that. That's what he was used to when he was a baby, and he was still a baby. He's only like 5 or 6 months old, and so um, luckily she gave him to me around winter break, so I had about a week to stay home before I had to head back to school, and he did okay. Um, and then so he would be under the couch. It was like a futon couch. It was a little higher. I could stick my arm into there and just find him and then just pet him for like 20 minutes. And eventually that's how we bonded and how I became a really good house cat. There were a couple times I wasn't sure. Like one time, he probably got mad or confused because I had headed back to school, and Logan and I came back, and he had just shit and pissed everywhere. And I was just like, this can't go on. And I just grabbed him, and I was like, you can't. And I was going to try to shake him over sometimes you just shake them gently, like over where they pooped and peed, and they understand. But he didn't understand. He just had his claws and his teeth out, and I had to drop him because he was going to shred my arm off. And so that was a growing pain. He did that only once, and then another couple of times he pooped or peed. But he knew what the litter box was about. My mom trained him to do that, and eventually he was great, And he bonded with me. For like a month or two. The first thing I would do is get home and just stick my arm under that couch and pet him, and he knew he was loved. He does do some weird stuff. I've mentioned before, like I've been surrounded by animals, dogs and cats, my whole life. I love them both equally. The reason I have a cat now and not a dog is he's just easier. I have nothing against dogs. It's just they're just more work than a cat, and so that's why I have a cat. And This one, though, does some weird things. One of the weird things he does is he will only drink water out of the tap. Now, that's my fault. I spoil this little guy. I could, obviously, he would not let himself dehydrate if I just left the bowl out for him. I try to clean the bowl. I give him fresh water every other day, but sometimes I forget and it never goes dry, but it can get kind of yucky and tepid, and so I've spoiled him. He'll have a little tablespoon of wet food in the morning. That's the thing he does, and I give him some of that, and then he goes right to the bathroom sink and meows at me until I turn on the water lightly and he drinks. It's nice. I like how he wakes me up in the morning. This took a few years before he started doing this. He still doesn't always, he rarely sleeps with me in the bed, which is fine. And sometimes he does with Logan, but generally he just finds his own place to sleep because I think that's part of the feral game. Some cats are really all over people, but not him. But he's funny. What he was doing for a while, and then he stopped, thankfully. But to wake me up in the morning, he'd put his butt right by my face, just start smacking me with his tail, and I was just, after a while, just shove him away gently and just go, that's not going to work. So now he's gotten better at it. He is, and that's the thing. Cats are trainable. Not as trainable as dogs, but they are trainable. They're smart. They learn things, and so now he just kind of puts his face in my face and maybe rubs me a little bit. And when I'm up, I pet him for a few minutes, and then oh, this is another thing he does. Leads to this. When we get off the bed. So, I'm old now. I do that sit at the edge of the bed for 30 seconds before I really actually, and in your 20s, you bounce out of bed. But now, 50, you kind of sit there and just look at the floor, wonder where your life is going. But before I get to that, he'll be like this, right? Except he'll be turned around. Say this is the edge of the bed here. He will get on his back, head here, and then just slide off the bed like a gymnast. My bed's about 2 feet high, mattress box spring, and he just goes backwards, finds it with his front paws, and then springs around, little like kitty handspring. It's the coolest thing. It's just like his little kitty gymnast thing. He does it every morning without fail. It rarely does it any other time. Sometimes when he's on the bed, he might do it, but that's a goofy thing he does. Another thing he does, I've seen a few cats do this, but not too many, is when he's done eating his dry food, he'll paw at it right in front of the bowl. He'll just paw. I don't know what that's about. Like he just took a dump and is covering it. It's that type of thing. So I have no idea what that's about. He licks my bald spot. It's back here, and sometimes if I'm on the couch and he's back there, he'll just start licking my bald spot. I don't let him do it for too long. It's just a little weird, and it starts scratching. You know how rough their tongues are for cleaning purposes. So it's weird and it's scratchy, and I was like, okay, that's enough of that. But it is a funny thing that he seems to enjoy. He'll do it for quite a while. There was one more thing. Oh man, I keep forgetting what this one thing is that he does. Oh well, this isn't really a thing. This is just kind of funny. So I have the cat litter right next to the toilet because there's not really another good place to put it that I can think of. I don't want to stink up the kitchen or the living room. Kids don't want it in their room. I don't want it in my bedroom, so I put it. I've got a good spot for it right next between the toilet and the wall. And a couple times he has come in there and pooped while I'm pooping. All right, like he'll come in like right as I'm closing the door. You can tell he's in a hurry. It's almost like a guy at an airport that has to go to the bathroom. Like, I gotta get in here. Okay. Stall is yours, sir. I'll go in the next one. And it is, and it's hilarious. I wish I could record it without it being crass. Maybe this is crass enough just telling you, but I'll just be sitting there doing my morning dumperoo, and he'll do it too. I swear to God, it's only happened like 2 or 3 times. It's hilarious. And he's just sitting there too, just looking straight forward in his box, parallel with me, just staring at the bathtub, just, all right, this is what it's come to. It's come to this. So, but I love this cat. His name is Boba. I don't know if I even mentioned that at the beginning, because we are Star Wars nerds in this household, and so we call him Boba. Not for the stuff you drink, not those weird balls in the drink. I don't understand that. We call him that for Boba Pet. Okay, so yeah, I know it's stupid, but so is life. So is owning these animals. It's really dumb when you think about it. So yeah, Boba Pet, a beautiful belated birthday Boba, because I like alliteration and I like cats, and I'm really happy with this little gray idiot. So thanks guys for listening. I know it's a lot about a cat, but he's really given me a good 5 years. Talk to you guys next time. See ya. Bye.